evening. I'm going to read them out because I'm going to forget everything that's on anyway. Hey Stacey, how are you? First question this evening is, and there's another one there, Sinead. How are you guys? How thanks. The odd time, usually towards the end of a session when the body is tired, my form wouldn't be great on certain exercises. Is it best to stop for a second to regain form / slow down, or just keep moving to keep the heart rate up? Okay, good question. So let me read that again, folks, just so you're clear. The odd time, usually towards the end of a session when the body is tired, my form wouldn't be great on certain exercises. Is it best to stop for a second to regain form / slow down, or just keep moving to keep the heart rate up? That's a pretty easy one actually to answer. It's going to be straight to the point here. Always form comes first. Always, always, always form. Because if the form is not right, that's when you're more susceptible to injury. So what I would say to you here is, I'm presuming, and I know actually it is because you're in HIIT workouts, I know with that question, it's coming from the perspective of HIIT sessions where the heart rate's up and the intensity is high. So you're probably wondering there about, should I be letting the heart rate drop? If you're at the stage where your form is starting to suffer anyway, I would say the heart rate's already high, because that's what's bringing the form down a little bit. So for sure, slow it right down, get the form right, give yourself a little bit of recovery time, and when you've got there, you'll be able to kick it up again, okay? So always form comes first. Your heart rate is going to be high anyway. If the form is starting to suffer, it's probably fatigue kicking in, so the heart rate's already high, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. I would definitely say to you, always mind form, because if the form is not there, that's when the injuries are going to hit. Elise, how are you? Good to see you. So that's question one answered. I'm not going to hang around too long on that one because some of the other questions this evening are a little bit more in-depth that we might need a bit more time on. Yeah, so move on. Question two. Again, guys, if you have any questions as you go, throw them up. A glass of water, a pint of water. Okay, question number two. It was, this week in particular, I haven't felt sore the next day after a HIIT session. So am I not working hard enough or am I getting fitter? I'm guessing the structure and the stretching is definitely helping me. Yeah, okay, cool. So again, this week in particular, I haven't felt sore the next day after a HIIT session. Am I not working hard enough or am I getting fitter? I'm guessing the structure and the stretching is definitely helping me. Yeah, okay, a couple of things in that. Yeah, the body is adapting, definitely, because you've been doing the HIIT sessions for quite a few weeks now. At the start, you're probably feeling more sore, but you're getting fitter, you're getting stronger, so it's getting a little bit easier. What I got to say to you on this is, think about what it is that you're trying to get out of your training. Is it results or is it to be sore? Because there is a difference. There's very much a difference. And I think if you bring it back to a proper, well-structured training program, you're not going to be sore all the time. Because the ultimate goal of your training is not to leave you crippled every day of the week. So if you're somebody who is training all the time, all year round, you're training 4 or 5 days a week, and you're very consistent with it, you're not going to be feeling pain every time you train. Because you're not going to be always at 100% intensity anyway. There's going to be some days when you do feel a little bit sore. There's going to be other days when you don't feel that much at all. So what I got to say to you here is consistency is king. So if it's results you're after, you got to be consistent and you got to be training all the time. And it's not possible for you to be crippling yourself every day of the week if you're going to be consistently training 5 days a week, because it's just not going to work. So some days, yeah, you're going to be sore. Maybe you're in the gym and you're lifting heavy, or you might be going for a PR or something like that and you're pushing hard. The next day you might be sore, but then another day you're going to bring the intensity down where it's just nearly taking over. We did this last night actually in the live workouts. I kind of felt that the last 4 or 5 sessions had been intense and people were working really, really hard. We'd taken a lot out of the body, so I brought the intensity down. And we just did a nice, easy little session last night just to keep the body moving, just to keep taking over. Hey Kev, how are you? Just to keep taking over. So it doesn't have to be all about 100%, 100%, 100%, banging it out all the time, crippling yourself every time. It's not about that, okay? So think about what you're after, if it's results-wise. And I know the person that asked this question has been doing really, really well. He's lost weight and he's doing fantastically well. So well done, keep up the good work. But when we're looking at that long-term thing, it's not about always crippling yourself. And this is where a lot of people go wrong, especially at the beginning. Let's take January as our example here, folks. When January hits, think about all the people that flood into the gym and all the people that get out running and they're just 100% intensity because they're so good, they're gung-ho, they really want to do it because they're feeling like January, new year, new me, all that stuff. So for a week, for 2 weeks, they're 100% at it, and then they're so sore after it because they do too much too soon. They're not used to doing it. What would have been a better thing to happen there would have been gradually increasing it rather than just going all in and then a week later doing absolutely nothing. So we're looking at the long game all the time, always looking at the bigger picture. When we do that, consistency is king, 100%. And that means you're not going to be sore after every workout. You're not going to be absolutely hammered every single session. I hope that answers that. Yeah. Again, folks, any questions as we go, throw them up and I'll do my best with them. I'm just going to grab a drop of water. We're moving on. Okay, you all good? You still with me? Am I totally confusing you? Are you still with me? I'm doing my best with them, guys. I'm doing my best. We've got some good questions in this week. Next question. Oh, okay. This may seem like an obvious question, but is it more important to have a small mix of carbs, protein after exercise? In particular, does it aid recovery? I've had scrambled eggs and toast after some of the hits during the week and it went down a treat. I suppose I'm just seeing if it's more benefit to have something small after a run or a hit session or go by what the body feels. Good one, good one. Okay, what to have after training is effectively, I think, what you're asking me there. Yeah, always listen to the body first and foremost. Always listen to the body. I personally, after a session nearly of any kind where there's been some half decent amount of intensity in it, I'm always getting protein in afterwards to aid recovery. Yeah, that is one of the things I always do. In terms of the carbs question then, yes, I would look at doing that as well, but I judge that very much on what I need rather than what I want. So if, for example, there's a day where maybe I'm on a rest day, or there's a day where maybe I'm just getting steps up or I'm not training hard, I tend to bring my carb intake down on that day because I don't particularly need it. And the question I always ask is, what do I need rather than what do I want? And I think everybody just has this habit, especially Irish people. We have this habit of loading up carbs into every meal just for the sake of it, because we've all been brought up on bread and potatoes and pasta. So we just do it out of habit. But very much getting used to asking yourself that question, what do I need rather than what do I want? So inversely then, if it's a tough training session, if there's a day where I've gone heavy and I have put in a proper shift at my training session, I'll probably get a little bit more carbs in afterwards just to replenish lost stores. So that might be brown rice, that might be sweet potato. Yeah, but the protein always nearly goes in there anyway, because I'm trying to hit my protein requirements for the day anyway. But the carb intake, I tend to vary it judging on how active I am. Make sense? Hopefully. All right. Again, guys, anything I can help you with, shout. I'm going to keep moving because I'm just conscious that sometimes when the videos go on so long, people tune out and they don't watch them. So I just want to get straight to the point to get as many of your questions answered as we can. Question 4. Okay. For the last 20 years, from doing DVD workouts way before YouTube, you're always told when doing core work to pull in your tummy, etc. I often wondered if I was pulling in at all. Hard to know when you have a layer of blubber over it. Okay, so question is, if you're not correctly doing an ab exercise, can you in fact make your abs worse or have no effect on them at all? Okay, right. Can you make your abs worse or no effect at all? So, first thing I would say, in terms of pulling in your tummy, I think that's kind of an age-old myth that's out there anyway, isn't it? Pull in the tummy, pull in the tummy. I kind of describe that, hey Debbie, how are you? Welcome aboard. I kind of describe that more as bracing rather than pulling in. So almost as if you're bracing yourself to get punched in the stomach. So you're just tightening up more than kind of just really sucking in the stomach, which is what a lot of people describe it as, I suppose. On the ab work then, and I've worked a lot over the last couple of weeks with clients on this in our Facebook Live workouts, where I'm saying to them with ab work, focus on your breathing. And really, I think what a lot of people are doing is holding their breath when they're doing ab work, and they're really blood pressure up, red in the face, and they're coming up and down, and momentum is flying through. So I'm trying to get you working the abs more so. So what I'm saying to you, the likes of sit-ups and stuff like that, I'll say to you, breathe out on the way up. So almost explosive breath out. Think about nearly emptying the abs of oxygen. So by the time you come up to your knees, the oxygen is gone, and then we're squeezing tight. We're getting that little squeeze on it there, bracing there, and then we're breathing in on the way down. So it's almost breathe out on the way up, squeeze, breathe in on the way down, and we're contracting the abs and we're making them work. So your question there, I think, is, does it make the abs worse or have no effect on them at all? I don't know what you mean by worse. I suppose, is it a case of, is it not going to strengthen them or whatever? What I would say to you is, when the form is wrong in terms of abs, if you're not engaged in the core, if you're not working the core, what's probably going to take a hit more so is your back. It's more so your back. So that would be what I'd be more concerned about, rather than, is it, you know, are the abs not improving or are they getting worse? What I'd probably say is, if form is off, it's probably your back that's going to take a hit more so. So that's why I'd say to you, it's really, really important to get your breath work right with your ab work. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah? Hopefully? Okay, I hope I'm explaining that okay. It's very, very difficult sometimes when you're just speaking into a camera and you don't have people in front of you to talk to. Yeah, look, we'll keep moving. I've 1 or 2 more to get through. Any questions again, guys, throw them up, you know yourselves. Can I grab a drop of water? You don't mind? Take a second. 17 people online on a sunny Wednesday evening. That's not bad going. Fair play to you guys. I appreciate you joining me, and I hope you're getting something useful out of it. Good man, Fergal. That answers a couple of questions, yeah? Lovely. Okay. Next question. I'm going to do about 2 more, I think, guys. So just be thinking about your questions if you have any more you want to hop up, and I'll try and get them in at the end. So the next one is, I stayed on my page, and I can't even see the first sentence. So, why is breathing so important during an exercise? I used to be a devil for nearly holding my breath during an exercise. Can definitely see that breathing properly improves your technique, but why? Okay, pretty simple one again. If you are holding your breath, what typically, I've kind of answered this I think actually in a previous question. If you're holding your breath, what typically happens is that the heart rate shoots up. So that's why it becomes a little bit easier if you're controlling your breath. So get your breath work in there. Heart rate shooting up. What happens then, obviously, when heart rate goes up, is that you fatigue an awful lot quicker. And then you find that your form and everything starts to suffer. Going back to probably, what was it, question 1 or question 2 earlier. So that's the reason for breathing. If you're holding your breath and you're really tense, you're going to find yourself going really red, and you're going to find the blood pressure soaring. And from there, heart rate's pumping, and you're going to fatigue an awful lot quicker. It's kind of related even to the question where somebody said to me about being sore or being tired after the workout. Like, for me, as a coach, as an instructor, it's very, very easy for me to make you sore or to make you tired. That's not the ultimate aim. Like, I could say to you, go and sprint flat out for 1 minute, and you're going to be tired. You're going to be tired after that. So, you know, it's very, very easy to do that. That's not always the aim. So coming back to the question then on your breathing, 100% keeping the heart rate in check. Okay, so if the heart rate's in check and you're breathing and you're controlling things properly, your form is going to be better, but you're going to find that you're more in control as well, because you're not going to fatigue as quickly. Whereas if the heart rate's jumping up there, jumping up and down, you're going to fatigue very, very quickly. And that's when injuries and stuff start occurring as well. So that's the importance of breathing throughout your exercises. Okay? Okay. One more I'm going to take. One more. This one is kind of a little bit different. Actually, it's totally different, but I kind of feel it's nearly more important than anything we've covered so far. I got back to this person last night. Hey, Caroline, is it? I got back to this person last night because I felt this one was a little bit more urgent and needed an answer straight away rather than just putting it up on social media. So, bear in mind, this is relevant to all of you guys as well. I'm talking about somebody who's kind of a similar background to myself, but it's relevant to everybody in our everyday lives. Somebody contacted me on Instagram last night, and she is in the same line of work as myself. She's just started out in fitness, but she's been different to me in that my growth has been quite slow and steady and hard work over a long period of time. She's in a position where she has suddenly exploded overnight nearly on Instagram. She's got a huge following all of a sudden. What has happened is that she's getting abusive messages and she's getting nasty comments, and that does tend to happen. So she got in touch with me last night and she was just saying, look, I feel a bit shit about this. Is there anything you could do to help me? Have you any advice and whatever? Yeah, look, there's a couple of things on this. Firstly, I would say to you, what I said to her, I said, you never get put down by people above you. That's my experience. You never ever get put down by people above you. Like, I've reached out to people who are at the very top of my industry when I needed help, and they were always incredible. Because I always say the people at the top have the best attitudes, and they've got to the top because they've got the best attitudes. You don't suddenly get to the top and then develop a good attitude. It doesn't work like that. So what I said to her was, you never get put down by people above you. So if people are giving you abuse and they're coming on and being nasty, it's probably because a lot of them are doing nothing with their own lives and they feel bad about themselves. Maybe it gives them a sense of power to try and tear you down. So you need to kind of get away from buying too much into it and focusing too much on it. This was kind of my advice to her. Look, I'm talking about social media here, but this is relevant in everyday life as well. So my thoughts on it are this. Even now, I don't really get that much of it anymore, thankfully. But what I do see when I was getting comments on social media, I used to get it a little bit on Facebook, but when you go onto their pages, you'll see that it's just ranting and raving. There's a lot of negativity out there, and I think it's people. I feel sorry for them now. I feel sorry for them because I think those people are hurting. I think they're in a bad place. So I don't hate them or anything like that. And this is what I was saying to her as well. I was saying, you need to keep perspective on it. I think these people are not in a good place mentally. And if you're going on to somebody's social media page that you don't know to comment and to leave nasty remarks to try and make them feel bad, you know, you're not in a good place. You can't be. So that was what I was saying to her. Just keep it in perspective. It's not about you. It's more about them. Okay? So my advice to her again was just get the blinkers on. Focus on yourself. Do your thing. You're bringing value to people. That's why you've got a big following. So keep bringing value to people and keep your energy in a positive place. The best use of my energy, this is the way I view it now, my best use of my energy is to bring value to my clients, to help them out, to come on and do a Facebook Live or to do live workouts during lockdown, whatever it may be, however we can help them. That's the best use of my energy. That's keeping it in a positive place. If, for example, you're getting a little bit of abuse online and you get involved in an over and back with people, you know, it's putting your energy into a negative place. It's not helping anybody. It's not helping the person that's put it up there. Stay positive, yeah, 100%. It's not helping the person that, you know, that's out there leaving comments, but it's not helping you either. It's putting you into a negative place. A horrible program. Yeah, that's the way it is. That's the way it goes. I suppose sometimes when you do start getting a bit of Facebook following or Instagram following or whatever it is. But yeah, it's never about you. It's always about the other person. So don't worry too much about it. Try and focus on yourself. And then she was saying as well, you know, there was people that she had grown up with that were starting to say things about her and all this. And I was saying, do you know what? You can't get involved in what they're saying, because again, it's because you're successful. You know, that's all it is. It's trying to tear you down. So don't worry too much about that. All right. When she was saying, you know, sometimes her friends would say to her, oh, such a one was saying this and this and this. And I just said to her, as soon as you hear that, just tell them, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Because you've just got to focus on yourself. Put your energy into improving you and to bringing value to your clients. And when you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to attract the right people around you anyway. As I always say, your vibe attracts your tribe. So whatever you put out over time, you're going to find that if you're constantly putting out positive messages and you're helping people, those people are going to be drawn to you and the other people are going to be weeded out over time anyway. So that was what I was saying to her. But I want you to bear in mind as well, in everyday life, the people around us make such a massive, massive, massive difference. So be very conscious of who you're giving a lot of your time to. If you're constantly hanging around with people who are negative and people who have nothing good to say and people who tell you you can't do that, it's going to drag you down. No matter how bulletproof you think you are, it's going to drag you down. So get good people around you, get positive people around you, get supportive people around you. That makes life a hell of a lot easier. It really does. So look, I'm not saying, look, you know, there's always going to be times you just have to talk to certain people or whatever, but sometimes it's enough to say hello. You don't need to have those people around you all the time. For the most part, if you're trying to drive towards something positive, get supportive people. And you've seen that, whatever it is you're trying to do, if it's a fitness journey, if it's a weight loss journey, if it's building a business, people who are supportive, people who are positive, people who are enthusiastic, all of those people make life a million times easier. So get those people around you. That's going to make your life easier. Okay. Anything else there I've left out? No, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because that was one that was a little bit different to the other questions that have come in, and it's something I've experienced myself, and I've unfortunately at times I've even been abused when I was out on a Saturday night, which is not nice, but I understand how to deal with it now, and I think my mindset is strong. And one of the things I was saying to her as well is really develop your mindset, get into personal development work, because if you've got that following out, she has, she's just blowing up nearly overnight. Get into personal development work, learn how to control your mind, learn how to look at the positives, learn how to reframe things, because that is crucially important. So that's pretty much it. But yeah, in everyday life as well, it's the same for all of us. If you hang around with 4 negative people, you're going to become the 5th. Likewise, if you hang around with 4 positive driven people, you're probably going to become the 5th as well. So just be very aware of the people around you as well. I hope that helps. Anything else, guys, before I switch off? We're good.